There's a story in the Bible of a chief tax collector. His name's Zacchaeus. And it's one of my favorite stories. Tax collectors back then were absolutely hated. And by human standards, like rightfully so. They imposed huge taxes on people, made it almost impossible to live, and they would tax them extra, and were basically huge thieves. And this was a chief tax collector. And Jesus is passing through this man's town, and he climbs up in a tree to try and get a glimpse of him. And there's a huge crowd. And as Jesus passes by this tree, he looks up and he calls him down by name. He says, "Zacchaeus, come down. I have to stay at your house tonight." And the crowd around Jesus starts to murmur. And I can just imagine them saying, like, "You can't do that. If you knew who this man was, you would understand that you can't associate with this man. You definitely can't stay at his house." And I don't know about yours, but my Jesus has a little ignorant swag to him. So I could just imagine him giving like a little side eye, like, and going about his business. And Jesus understood something that we miss so frequently. And he saw the man. Jesus knew about his sin. And he separated the man from the sin. And if you read the story, Jesus never even brought up the sin. He doesn't bring it up. He looks at the man and he shows the man grace, love, compassion, and acceptance. And he shows that to a heart that only ever received hate, rejection, condemnation, ridicule. Because Jesus understood in that moment the power of love. Like, there is so much power in love. We say all the time that God is love. And the flip side of that is love is God. Love is our expression of God on earth that we can give people. We can literally give people God by giving them love. And Jesus understood that. And so he just loved this man. And that does not mean that you co-sign the sin. That doesn't mean that you condone it, that you're for it. But you can love someone and not even bring it up. And Jesus shows this. And on the spot, the man has this basic, like a spiritual awakening. And he's inspired to not only admit that he's wrong, but to say that he's going to make it right. And not only pay back the people, but anyone he stole from, he was going to pay back 4 times. And that's the power of love. And we have the opportunity as people to give that every single day. As Jesus understood that true change comes from inspiration, not from condemnation. And love has the power to inspire. So I would just encourage you, as you live your day, just kind of go about your business. Like Jesus says, love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, and treat your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbors, love your enemies. Like, that is how you give God to someone. Because God is love and love is God. So just encourage you with that.